Alright YouTube, today we got one that's been highly awaited, one that I've been wanting to react to and I want to get more into. We got OFB versus NPK. We have done a lot of reactions from each group. Both groups are talented, but I want to see what is the backstory, what is the beef behind everything. So look, this is going to be a long video. Grab y'all popcorn, earbuds, whatever y'all need, and let's go ahead and dive straight into this reaction. Versus
Throughout
NPK.
the rise of UK drill, we've seen many artists and groups' relationships crash and burn, but not many has been as infamous and televised than two groups in a North London town called Tottenham. Today, we'll be looking into the rise and fall between two drill groups called NPK and OFB, and how their friendship turned into eventual tragedy. Let's get into it. Guys, before I get into this video, I just want to say a quick message.
Let's go ahead and skip the 126, bro. I ain't got time for it. Come on. 126, thank you.
Said before, we're taking this story to the North London town of Tottenham. Now, Tottenham is infamous for many reasons. It's bred some of the biggest artists in the UK, stemming from global pop stars like Adele and major grime artists such as Skepta and Chip, and now big drill artists like Headie and Abracadabra. In the last few decades, Tottenham has also been notable for a lot of violence and crime. Infamously, the area of Tottenham has been known for igniting big uprisings, like the Broadwater Farm riots in 1985, and the
when you kick ass in your favorite game, you want to share it with the world. That's when Outplayed comes in.
London 2011 riots, which put the country into a national lockdown, which is a topic for another video. But also a lot of gang warfare has plagued the community, especially in recent years.
Damn,
See, Tottenham is a big area spanning across two different postcodes, N15 and N17, with many different estates and cliques. But today we'll be focusing on the N17 side of the town, which is a side more notorious for violence than the other. So let's take it back to the 1970s, to a big housing estate inside Tottenham called Broadwater Farm. Inside this estate, the formation of a group called the Tottenham Mandem was created. The Tottenham Mandem throughout the 70s to the 90s built up a big reputation for violence across London. They were big players in the London drug market, and the tourists...
Okay, I'm guessing this is gonna be like the founders of the groups, bro. Kind of like how the BDs and GDs were founded in Chicago, like in the 1980s, 70s, something like that, bro. Okay, I got you.
Tottenham Mandem throughout the 70s to the 90s built up a big reputation for violence across London. They were big players in the London drug market, and notoriously had many deadly feuds with other groups across London, to the point where the Met Police ranked the Tottenham Mandem as the second highest group in London's organised crime network. And the group spread their influence all throughout Tottenham, with members all over the town. Then in the early 2000s, divides inside the group caused members to disband, which resulted in several different offshoot groups who started repping their specific estates or sections of Tottenham. One of these areas being in the Broadwater Farm estate, which was the original area of the Tottenham Mandem, and another was an area located less than 10 minutes away called Northumberland Park. Members of the Tottenham Mandem from Broadwater Farm started rolling with the name Star Gang, now known as OFB, and members from Northumberland Park started calling themselves NPK. For the most part, NPK and OFB members had a relatively good relationship, with them both having the same enemies being two nearby areas called Wood Green and Edmonton, who Tottenham have been feuding with for a while.
And Wood Green is where I want to say Lamps, is that the group Lamps was a part of? Bro, y'all let me know, I could be wrong. I haven't heard of Edmonton though. Tottenham got Wood Green and Edmonton. Okay, so those are their ops. Cool.
No, the feud between Tottenham...
I really want to know what happened for them to start this beef. They're about to tell me that now, but bro, I'm interested to know, bro.
And the two local areas started to be more known when UK rap music started getting platformed on several YouTube channels like Limitless Vids and Pac-Man TV. NPK members like Stretch and Starts, and OFB members like Headie and RV started hopping on tracks together, cementing their relationship in the public eye. OFB members dropped tracks like Youngers from Farm, which was making noise all over North London.
That's hard,
Summertime
bro.
2010, an OFB member called Young RV dropped a big tune called cruddy on the streets, which really put a spotlight on OFB as a whole. An NPK rapper called Stretch was also putting on for Tottenham musically, dropping tracks like Sky Style and Thanks Mummy. Stretch and RV were actually quite close friends, but in a situation in 2011, Stretch was stabbed by members from the nearby area Wood Green. Allegedly, RV was with him when it happened, but ended up running away, leaving Stretch to have a deep hatred for RV and other OFB members. Stretch addressed the situation on a track called You're Not Cruddy on the Streets, which was a direct diss record to RV, which left both sides to have a bit of a shaky.
Now this is some real drill right here, bro. Bro got it on his channel, literally in closed captions, RV diss, bro. That's fucked up. But man, that's real, bro. I'll be mad at a nigga too if they leave me to get stabbed up, bro. But then again, I'm not in that situation, so I wouldn't even know how I would react, bro. But to a certain point, bro, it's kind of like a both side thing, bro. You either run and save yourself or you stay there and die with your homie, bro. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't know who's right in this situation. I'm not even gonna... Let me just...
It happened, but ended up running away, leaving Stretch to have a deep hatred for RV and other OFB members.
Man.
Stretch addressed the situation on a track called You're Not Cruddy on the Streets, which was a direct diss record to RV, which left both sides to have a bit of a shaky relationship. For the next few years, both sides weren't generally the closest, until the late 2010s when the new generation of Tottenham were coming up. Kids from both Northumberland Park and Broadwater Farm grew up together through school and playing out, and a lot of families crossed between both areas. And despite the past issues between the two parts of Tottenham, the next generation of kids managed to maintain their tight relationships, even after they started claiming their area.
That's real, bro.
In 2017 to 18, a lot of the spotlight from the UK drill scene was on Tottenham. A few NPK members called GP, Unks and KK started going up in music, calling themselves Sin Squad, hitting millions of views on some of their tracks. RV from OFB had not long come out of jail for a 2012 stabbing case, and him and another OFB rapper called Headie started hopping on tracks together, creating one of the most legendary duos to come from UK drill. But
I haven't even heard a song by them. I have to really go dive into that. Because I know Headie got that song called Known Better, which CB mentioned in his plug. Damn, bro, I have to listen to that song, bro. I got to. Let me know if y'all want me to react to it.
Another time
get this ugly ass nigga off my fucking screen.
In early 2018, the younger members from OFB started trying their luck on drill beats. A few of the younger members jumped on a track with an older OFB member called Cash, and the song done decent numbers, considering it was a first track for many of the rappers on the tune. But throughout the year of 2018, the younger members started jumping in the booth more and more, especially 3 OFB members who went by the name Double L's, SJ and bandokay. They started dropping music consistently, creating a big buzz in the UK.
I do apologize for pausing again, but bandokay, your head is fucked up. That's all I want to say.
Back of their success, younger members from NPK also started hopping in the booth, but weren't taking it as serious as OFB, so they weren't releasing much. A lot of their tunes started getting leaked online and posted on YouTube, creating a big underground fandom for the group. These times a lot was going on in North London, and 2018 proved to be a deadly year for Tottenham and surrounding areas, with back-to-back shootings, stabbings and murders occurring throughout the year, mainly between the areas of Wood Green and Tottenham. And unfortunately, this constant back-to-back violence around the towns eventually ended up being NPK's and OFB's downfall. It all started on February the 22nd, 2019. The night before this day, a group of boys had drove and parked a Peugeot car inside the Broadwater Farm estate, which would become a meeting point the following day for several OFB and NPK rappers. The next day around 7 PM, a group of 7 OFB and NPK younger members and rappers set off on bikes armed with a handgun, shotgun, swords and machetes, heading
doing that shit on a fucking bike. You gotta be different, because you gotta be able to drive, not hit a pothole or hit a crack on the sidewalk, and the gun will probably fly out and let off or some crazy shit, and then you got knives and shit. That shit just look hella suspicious. Hella people on bikes, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And this coming from somebody who grew up in the hood, bro. Like, you never want to pass by the police and there's a bunch of y'all on bikes, because they're gonna think you up to no good, bro. Literally. Like, look at that.
Rappers. The next day around.
Like, look at that. That's how we used to be, too. Like, you used to get on the handlebars while your homie ride and everything, drive it and everything. Pause, bro. No homo. But damn, that's crazy.
Around 7 p.m, a group of 7 OFB and NPK younger members and rappers set off on bikes armed with a handgun, shotguns, swords and machetes, heading for their opposing area Wood Green. When the group reached a street called Lordship Lane in Wood Green, they spotted 4 guys who they believed to be part of the Wood Green gang. Once the group locked onto them, they dropped their bicycles and brought out their weapons and started to pursue the 4 members, with one of the shots narrowly missing a woman who was in a nearby store. The Wood Green members started running into different directions to try and get away, so the Tottenham group got back on their bicycles to try and catch up with one of the victims who was falling behind the rest. They managed to catch up and corner a 20-year-old man, then proceeded to stab him 8 times in total and shooting him once in full sight of members of the public. But the attack was interrupted when one of the victims, called Kamali, managed to retrieve his car and attempt to drive it into the attackers to save his friend. But once the group saw Kamali in his car driving towards them, they turned their attention towards him, circling his car attempting to smash his windows to get him out. While he was stuck between 2 cars trying to reverse out, Kamali eventually ditched his car to try and run into a hairdresser's which was nearby. Once he got into the shop, he tried to barricade himself inside, but the attackers managed to force themselves in, resulting in Kamali being
those motherfuckers were like packs of wolves, bro. They was gonna get to him one way or another. The man tried to barricade himself. He was in his car and they tried to break the windows, bro. Them motherfuckers was on a mission, bro. They were on a mission. They was coming home with a body, bro. No cap.
Barricade himself inside, but the attackers managed to force themselves in,
dude, that's
resulting
crazy.
in Kamali being struck several times, leaving him in a terrible state on the scene. Afterwards, the group rode their bicycles back to the Broadwater Farm estate and changed into clothes which they left in the car they parked off the day before and rode away. Sadly, Kamali didn't make it and his death was announced the following morning. In the next few months, one by one each attacker was getting arrested and remanded, at a time when OFB were reaching the highest numbers in the UK drill scene. 2 days before this attack on Kamali, SJ from OFB alongside 2 other OFB members released their biggest tune yet called Next Up. And now stuff was looking real for SJ after he was getting investigated for allegedly being on the scene on the day. During this time, SJ started hitting the booth heavily, dropping some big tracks, building his name to be probably one of the biggest drill artists out at the time. But a couple months later, the tragedy of K1 caught up to SJ in the worst type of way. SJ alongside other OFB members were invited to a freestyle session hosted by the well-established DJ called Tim Westwood on a series called which in 2019 was one of the biggest platforms for UK drill artists to go on. So it was a big statement that OFB was invited to go. But in one of the most unfortunate turn of events, halfway through the crib session, SJ got a call from the police to inform him that he was wanted for the murder of Kamali and that he was to hand himself over to police immediately. You can even see halfway through the freestyle, SJ's mood starts to change, realizing that this may be his last day of freedom for a very long time. Not long after.
What is the chances in that happening, bro? He's on there for his freestyle, bro. And they call him in and say he's wanted for murder, bro. My heart would drop so deep in my ass I could feel the heartbeat through my fucking toes. Are you fucking serious? Damn, SJ. You can just tell, bro, sick. He is sick.
The crib session,
he seriously thought he was gonna get away with it, bro. You can just see it in his face. He's like, damn, bro. It's over with.
May be his last day of freedom for a very long time. Not long after the crib session, SJ hands himself in, and now with 5 out of the 7 suspected attackers locked up, awaiting trial for the murder of Kamali. It wasn't long before there started being issues between both OFB and NPK members in jail regarding the case. Quite early on, there was rumours circulating that one of the NPK members who was on the case, who goes by the name of OFB, was starting to snitch on the situation, allegedly implicating other members in the murder. A few OFB members had stuff to say about it on Snapchat, building tensions and situations between NPK and OFB inside and outside of jail. On October,
listen, bro, if you gonna do something, I'm gonna just say do it by yourself, because you don't know how niggas gonna act, bro, when they get in that interrogation room. They gonna snitch. 90% of the people you rolling with right now, bro, you need to look next to you and just look at them and just know that they gonna snitch on you if you ever get in the jam. I'm just saying, for real.
OFB members had stuff to say about it on Snapchat, building tensions and situations between NPK and OFB inside and outside of jail. On October the 8th, 2019, the trial officially started and the tension was high in the courtroom. Several teenagers who hadn't even started their lives properly yet was looking at going to prison for the best parts of their life, and emotions were high in the court. Not too long before the start of the trial, SJ had even been offered a £155,000 record deal while awaiting trial for the murder, which was a big sign that if he managed to beat this case, there was another life waiting for him on the other side. But the trial didn't go well, and it wasn't long till the jury handed their guilty verdict for all the 5 young men. At the sentencing, all hell broke loose. NPK members and SJ started to fight and yell abuse to each other in the courtroom in front of the judge, and when they were all sentenced to between 21 to 28 years each, the room turned into chaos. Chairs and other bits of furniture started to get thrown into the docks, and all the defendants started to get separated after repeated violence between each other. One of the defendants' stepdads even leaped from the stands.
Hero barrister who was GB athlete confronts man shouting, "I will murder you," and restrains him in Old Bailey courtroom as 5 drill rappers are sentenced to 116 years. Bro, if you gonna do the crime, you gotta be able to do the time. Just saying, man.
Started to threaten the judge, screaming that he will murder him after the sentence was announced. The tension continued outside the courtroom. Families and friends of the 5 defendants started to argue outside. Not long after, SJ and other OFB members took to Snapchat to say their side of the story, labeling the NPK members as snitches on the case, which overall was the real start of the break-off between both NPK and OFB. And members on both sides were making this publicly known through social media. But soon after the sentencing, on the 19th of February 2020, stuff started getting physical between both sides. 3 OFB and NPK members bumped into each other at a local barbershop, which ended with 2 OFB members being stabbed and slashed multiple times. A CCTV video of the situation leaked, which was posted all around social media, bringing awareness to what was happening on the streets of Tottenham. On the music side, while SJ was locked up, more new rappers started coming out of OFB, releasing tunes off the back of the success of other OFB rappers. One of these being an OFB member who went by the name of Ispot. He blew up from a single he released called Ispot, and after a couple more big songs he dropped throughout the year. A lot of fans were saying soon he could hit the same level as SJ, but in September of 2020, the ongoing feud between NPK and OFB caught up to him. Ispot was on his way home from college on the train, but when the train hit a station called Meridian Water in Edmonton, 3 alleged NPK members spotted Ispot sitting near the window on the train. In front of shocked onlookers, the 3 NPK members proceeded to stab Ispot multiple times, striking mainly his lower back and face.
Whoa. Damn, they gouged his fucking. Oh, that's disgusting.
Our fans were saying soon he could hit the same level.
It's been confirmed in court that a teenager Ispot OB was stabbed in Enfield. 3 boys armed with machetes left another teenager blinded in one eye after attacking him on a commuter train, a court heard. Damn!
Stabbed Ispot multiple times, striking mainly his lower back and face. One of the strikes actually ended up hitting one of his eyes, damaging his vision. But thankfully, Ispot survived the attack. 3 NPK members were actually jailed after CCTV footage caught them in the act. During these times, OFB and NPK were taking shots at each other on drill songs. OFB rapper bandokay dropped a song called Patient, which had several disses aimed at NPK. A couple NPK rappers also dropped a song in early 2021 called Exposing Opps 2.0. They actually filmed part of this track on the OFB's block, the Broadwater Farm Estate, which caused a lot of attention in the UK drill scene. Another drill group around 10 minutes away from OFB's block was also starting to get some attention in the drill scene called TPL. They dropped a track called Philly Don't Dance, which had multiple disses towards OFB. TPL and NPK actually started linking up and eventually filmed a music video together for a track which featured both groups called Hitcock 45. They filmed this video outside Turnpike Lane train station in the M15 postcode, and many members from each side started posting the location of the music video on Snapchat and other social media. After the shoot was done, a few members were still posted outside the train station, and unfortunately a few shots were fired into the crowd of boys around 1 AM, with shots hitting a 20-year-old TPL member who went by the name of Showerman, sadly killing assisting him on the scene. The same day, NPK's area in Northumberland Park, Tottenham, was also shot up with a young man being shot multiple times, but
OFB was coming hard,
causing a lot of friction in Tottenham. A few months afterwards, an NPK member who went by the name of KY and his friend took a trip near the Broadwater Farm estate. When they reached, they spotted an OFB member called Sitz and his friend sitting down on a bench. KY approached Sitz while he was sitting down and the two started to argue. KY grabbed Sitz's phone from him, which resulted in Sitz slapping KY in his face. Afterwards, KY brought out a large knife from his trousers, stabbing Sitz 3 times, and then he made his escape. Sadly, Sitz didn't survive the attack, and mobile tracking caught KY in the act, resulting in him getting caught and sentenced to 19 years. Throughout the last few years, there's been numerous back and forth situations between the two groups, and with both areas being so close together, causing paths to cross all too often. Unfortunately, more situations more than likely will carry on happening. It's been your boy Kid Nerd, and peace out.
Dang, that was a good damn documentary, boy. That was good, man. That was good. OFB, NPK, they're right there next to each other. I didn't even know it dated back this far. And I didn't know OFB SJ was like that big in OFB, bro. That's crazy. But look, now it's time to get to the music side of things. So now we'll have more of a backstory about everything now. That's crazy though, man. You can't trust people for one, bro. And for two, do it by yourself if you're going to do something. Your boy Stacks is out of here. Also, if you enjoyed that video, like and subscribe because I made this video 20 minutes for you. I'm out.